Hi everybody, so it's Lance here again, and this time what I'm going to do is remember the Raspberry Pi I showed you in a previous video. And I did say I was going to install Home Assistant on the Raspberry Pi. Well, first thing you do if you want to do that, it's very straightforward really. You just go to this website, home-assistant.io, and everything's pretty much done for you. So if you go to Get Started, click on Get Started, it will take you here, and you can install Home Assistant on different types of platforms, including Windows, Mac OS 10, Ubuntu even, or you can install it on these other different types of systems, including the Synergy NAS and this flavor of Unix, plus Raspberry Pi. Now there's two types of configurations here, just this box standard Raspberry Pi or the all-in-one installer, which is what I'm going to do. So let's go to the all-in-one installer. So the first thing that you need to do before you can do anything, you need to get the Linux version Raspbian Jessie onto it. So let's click on Raspbian Jessie and let's see what it does. So it takes us to the Raspberry Pi website, and what you do is you download a torrent, or you can download the zip file. I actually downloaded a torrent, and as you can see, it's here. I've downloaded already. It's seeding, and there it is all completed. And so it's already been downloaded. It's 1.2 gigs. So I downloaded it that way. And then what you do is you basically go to the installation guide here, and there are different variants of how you can install the image onto your micro SD card. Now, you can do it on Linux. I've got Mac OS, or you can do it on Windows. So I'm going to go to the Mac OS version because that's what I've got. And you can see there's different ways that you can install the image. It's pretty straightforward. I'm actually going to use there's a graphical or mostly graphical interface where you just follow these instructions. Make sure that the micro SD card is formatted in FAT32 format. So it must be in FAT32 format. Make sure that the card is formatted in that format, file format. And then I just went down to the command line here. Now, under OS 10, you just go to the window, just open a terminal window, which is what I've done here, and basically type in these instructions. And you can see actually what I've done here is I've actually followed all these instructions. The first thing to do is you need to find out what the disk, what sort of disks you have on your system. Now I've got a number of different types of disks here, and one of them is the SD card. Here it is, 31.7 gigabytes. This is the thing that you need to note down. This is very important. The identifier, which in this case is disk 2. So you need to make a note of that, and then you need to unmount it. So just use this command. It's also here. So unmount, and in my case it's unmount, a disk utility unmount and disk 2. So as you can see, it's unmounted. All the volumes on disk 2 successful. And then what I did was just copy this command, sudo ddbs equals 1m, if, and then the image, the actual image. In my case, it's the Raspberry Pi image here, and the disk itself. In this case, it's RD disk. You just replace the last number, the N, by whatever your number is here. So I replace it by 2, and then it takes a little while, and then it tells you, it comes back. It just don't undo anything. Let it finish. It tells you how many, how many records it wrote out and how many bytes it transferred, and it's done it in 200 seconds. And there it is. And that's pretty much it. Then you've basically installed the operating system, the Raspian operating system on the micro SD card. And then we will go and install the actual Home Assistant once we boot up the Raspberry Pi.